Hi, botanist. We have been talking about ways that plants disperse seeds and what happens with those seeds. Now we're going to backtrack a little bit because in order for a plant to make seeds, the plant needs to be pollinated. And we talked about that a little bit when we talked about flowers, right? We talked about that pollen has to go from the stamen where it's produced into the pistil and all the way down here where a seed can be produced, sometimes even fruit with the seed inside of it. So that has to happen in order for the plant or the flower to produce a seed and for the plant to be able to reproduce, for there to be more plants. Now, did you guess what the topic of today is from watching those videos? Yeah, today we're talking about pollinators. Who are pollinators? What are pollinators? Pollinators are insects or animals that move pollen from the stamen all the way down over here to the pistil. And it's usually to, one of a different plant. Sometimes it works on the same plant, but a lot of times it has to be from one plant to one on another of the same type. So this pollen we get to another plant's pistil and down inside where a seed can be produced. So there's lots of insects and animals that help with pollination. Can you think of some? What did you see in those videos? What were some insects or animals that you saw that help pollinate plants? There's a whole bunch. Bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, bats. There's even a whole bunch of mammals that help, that eat the nectar and move from one plant to another. And what happens, then there's nectar produced in the plants. And as the plants come to eat the nectar, it's like a juicy, sweet, sugary liquid. And as the plants come to eat the nectar, pollen gets on their feet. And then they go to another plant. And they deposit that pollen because it gets stuck up here where it's sticky. And then the pollen gets down here. So their job, they're not going out saying, hey, I want to go pollinate a plant. I'm going to go help this flower out. That's not what they're doing. They're getting food. And in the process of getting food for themselves, they pollinate plants. It's kind of like a special bonus we get as those insects or animals are eating. So what I want you to do today is think about the pollinators that you saw in those videos. And there's a book you can watch about animals, or listen to / watch, about animals, mammals that are pollinators. Then I want you to look at this picture. Here's a beautiful wildflower field. I picture this being a meadow with so many beautiful flowers growing in it. And there's already one pollinator you can see in this picture. I want to know how many different kinds of pollinators you can add to this picture. Okay, so I want you to use your pencil and draw in a whole bunch of different pollinators. You can color this if you like, but you don't have to color it if you don't want to. But what I really want you to do is add in a whole bunch of different pollinators. After you've added in your pollinators, I want you to look on the newsletter at the pictures that I've included. And there's pictures of all different kinds of pollinators. I want you to carefully look at those pictures and see, are those the same pollinators that you included? Are there any that are different? Maybe you have some that aren't in those pictures, or maybe there's some in those pictures that aren't on your picture. So what I want you to do, if you see any that are new, I'd like you to try and add at least 2 on here that maybe you didn't have before. Okay? So I want you to make sure that you've watched the videos about pollinators. Make sure that you've watched and listened to the book about animal pollinators. And then I want you to see how many pollinators you can add to this picture. Now, if you don't want to print out this picture, you can also draw your own picture. You can draw lots of beautiful wildflowers along the bottom of the page and then add your pollinators up at the top. So it's up to you. You can either draw it, create it yourself, or print it out and add the pollinators. Okay. Have fun with this one, botanists. See you later.